Calgary, the fourth largest viewed city for the Rod Pedersen Show. And sometimes we neglect them a little bit. And as we've said last week, we didn't even put their coach in the Coach of the Year ballot because he's just too good. It's like Bill Belichick doesn't even come up for Coach of the Year in the NFL, does he? Ever? It's the same thing. Tyler, our sales manager, sitting over there. Am I in trouble, by the way? All the staff's here. All the big shots are here. Paul has shown up. What's going on here?
I'm on day off.
Are we staging an intervention? This is very eerily like an intervention right now. I'm the last to know. Paul says, go to break. But anyways, we got to show Calgary some love. And yes, the Flames lost last night at the Avalanche, 5-3, empty net goal by the Avs. But their football team, the one that never gets talked about, is playing in Montreal tomorrow, guys. And I'll get both your take on that. That's the first of the Saturday triple header in the CFL. It's another 9-hour day of football. It's just going to be fantastic, to use a Lynch line. John, is there any way that the Stampeders lose in Montreal? Because they've had trouble there in the past, and the Alouettes are the last team to beat them this year.
Alouettes beat them 40-34 at home this year, and they were very upset about that, the Stampeders. To answer your question, I think Montreal will give Calgary quite a game. It'll be a real good football game. But to be honest with you, no. When it comes down to who's going to win the game, because of Levi Mitchell, who's just like Lancaster, able to pull those games out in the last 2 or 3 minutes, the last minute, and so many games in the last minute, I think the Stampeders will win the game 28-27. Another squeaker. I think they've had about 5 in the last 6 years. I hate to say it, but I'm afraid Calgary will win.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go the other way. I think Montreal's got a really good shot. Vernon Adams Jr. back in the lineup, and he'll play. I think that adds a lot, adds a spark for sure to this group. And, coming off the week that they had too, they need to prove themselves as being, Grey Cup contenders and making sure they're staying in the conversation, not only for... in that Grey Cup picture, making sure they're hot down the stretch, but making sure they continue to hold that grasp. Not that they're really going to be, pushed by Toronto or Ottawa, but making sure that they, are securing that home playoff game sooner than later and ready to roll. So I think Montreal, having Vernon Adams Jr. back, is big, and I think it's going to be a really good game. I do. I think it's going to be, it's a little bit underrated. It's not getting the pub because, of course, everybody's excited about the Riders and Bombers.
I'm glad Clark reminded me of this on the prompter, and I meant to have this as a major topic on the program today, is the top item running at 3downnation.com right now on Bo Levi Mitchell and the Minnesota Vikings. And my guess is, John, you haven't heard this story, Frenzy.
No, I haven't.
This from 3downnation.com is written by Justin Dunk. The Minnesota Vikings were at least honest with Bo Levi Mitchell. The reigning CFL Most Outstanding Player worked out in Mini last December with head coach Mike Zimmer present. By all accounts, Mitchell impressed the Vikes coaches and personnel men, displaying the arm strength and accuracy everyone in Canada knows well. Mitchell met with a specific person after the on-field session. He was telling Mitchell how much Minnesota liked him and asked why he wanted to leave the CFL. Bo's answer was, well, for one, I've never been anywhere in football that I haven't won a championship. High school D1, D1AA, now here in the CFL, on and on and on. Apparently, Bo said this on his radio show in Calgary this week. And that is when the personnel guy for the Vikings said, no. We don't want you to take Kirk Cousins' job. We want you to come in here, help him with his eyes, tell him what you see, do everything you can do to make him a better quarterback. That's from the Vikings. So they wouldn't sign. This is what Bo is saying on his radio show. So they wouldn't sign him because they were afraid that he would maybe take Kirk Cousins' job.
Oh, I wish somebody would.
Well, if you were here listening to Kelly Rempel yesterday for about 60 seconds, he would love that too, I'm sure. And I bet you that he would be the biggest Bo Levi Mitchell fan if somebody from Saskatchewan could be. So that's interesting.
Now, is this true?
Bo wants to play.
Let's get this straight. Is Kirk Cousins the highest paid player in the NFL? The highest paid quarterback at $38 million? Is that right?
Well, it's actually in the story here. Might have to go through and search. Here it is. Kirk Cousins signed the NFL's first fully guaranteed contract in March of 2018 with the Vikings, worth $84 million over 3 years. So he's not, at the time, What was newsworthy about that was it was guaranteed money for the first time, the entirety of the contract. There's quarterbacks making more now, but it's not all guaranteed.
Right.
And he's just not delivering. As it goes on to say, in the first season of the deal, Cousins completed 70% of his passes, 4,298 yards, 30 touchdowns. More importantly, they were 8-7-1 and missed the playoffs. That's what you get in this for, is to win. That's why they pay the money. And he hasn't delivered.
He's not that good. Simple as that. I don't know why they gave him the money in the first place. He wasn't that good in Washington. He was good at Michigan State, but not great. He went to Washington. He wasn't that great at Washington. Had some good games, but they went crazy a couple of years ago, the Vikings, and they went out and gave him that kind of money. It's really stupid.
Well, as Clark's pointed out on the thing here, $28 million a year U.S. for Kirk Cousins. So it is overpaying, and it's guaranteed money. And I don't know who Kirk Cousins has pictures of, but they bring in Levi Mitchell, the outstanding player in the CFL, and they're like, no, we don't want you to compete. Kirk's untouchable. We want to sign you to help him.
I think IBM should hire him. He's going to be one of the great salesmen.
Great salesman of all time.
Great salesman of all time, Kirk Cousins. I mean, come on. Oh, gosh. And what's Brady getting? 15.
Yeah, and winning.
and happy to do it.
KC writes in on the Facebook wall. He says, "Are you kidding me? Vikings were worried about taking Cousins' job? That's a good problem. Give your head a shake." Wow. That tells you why some teams always win and some teams always lose.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.